We are back. We are back. We are back. Now that we're back, he said time was a waste of time. Shouts out to Inner City Press for doing what all the Inner City Press does, going out there and typing this up and putting all this information out there. That's quite incredible. It's a lot of hard work. So giving my kudos to him, because without him, a lot of people wouldn't know what was going on. Now, this thing has been going on for 8 hours. So throughout the 8-hour cross, they said, well, the government has said that the defense cross-examination can go into 4:30 p.m. today, and they'll limit themselves to 30 minutes of redirect. And Combs' lawyer says, we have evidentiary issues. And they said, well, tell me about it. Should have it been in writing? And they say, we don't understand why they're taking time objecting to our exhibits. They said, we are proposing to use a video of Mr. Combs walking in nature, talking about God. Is it improper? Invite jury nullification. They just said, let's hear it. So this is before the jury's back into the case. They said this is about him being in rehab, which Ms. Ventura didn't remember. So we want to refresh her recollection with this. And the Johnson, the AUSA Johnson said it cannot be played in front of the jury. And they said, we have headphones. They said, and the judge says, our jury is ready. Any more issues? And they say, if the R is after the charged conduct, it shouldn't have come up. It's a huge issue for us. And then the judge said, it's not a huge issue. You didn't raise it at the time. And they said, we thought we could cross on it. All rise. Good morning. You're still under oath, Mrs. Ventura. Come to the stage. So what they saying is that when they tried to bring up the R word situation, the R thing, this happened after the charges. The judge is saying, well, you should have brought that up then. They said, well, damn, we thought we was going to have the chance to do that and cross. We thought we could cross on it. And right away, here we go. Oh, yes. They're not done. Because, see, the main problem here is the actual failure to identify. Once again, we're 5 days in, and they have not connected the dots to RICO. They have not connected the dots to trafficking, which are the main two charges you have on the docket. So if you don't have this on the docket, and it's taking you 5 days to really make your point, and we're like, we still don't see it, I think they're going to be surprised with what the jury come up with. I think they're going to be really surprised. I think the jury is going to surprise them, and what they're finding is the surprise of the people on social media. As much as they keep trying to drive home what a violent, foul man this Diddy is, he's a monster on all the news and everything, this ain't swaying what the people are seeing in the courtroom. Those 12 are seeing the facts. And when you have conflicting evidence in the facts, that's where this case is going to be won and lost. Yeah, she threatened Puffy. This is somebody who didn't want another person to take her spot. So she was doing whatever she could because she didn't want somebody to take her spot. That doesn't sound like coercion. Where is her being coerced into doing things? We're not hearing it, good people. We're not hearing it. In this case, it's telling us that there's a lot on the docket we don't understand, and it has not been provided to us. So on those, right, in those tropes, things have gotten really explosive in the last few days in this trial. Mm-hmm. Well, they owe people a lot of apologies. So, as they get Cassie back on the stand, they say, "You believe Mr. Combs was blacked out for the Intercontinental event, right?" She said, "I believed he was intoxicated. Everyone's definition is different. But you said blackout. What did you write here?" "I wrote when you get effed up the wrong way. You meant drugs and alcohol." "Okay. Here, Mr. Combs writes to you, I am so horny for you." And they jump up. "This is not evidence. This is not an evidence." They say, "Here, Mr. Combs is asking you for sex." Soon after the Intercontinental, right? I was saying who he left. I was saying who he felt or how he felt. Okay. What did you write back? I wrote, "We need a different vibe than Friday at the Intercontinental." Mr. Combs wrote, "F Friday. I don't even want to do that again." What did you write? LOL, true. Mr. Combs suspected you of having an affair with someone else in the industry. What happened when he took your phone? She said, "We were all in a car. He told me to call my mother. When I did, he grabbed my phone and took it. It was a big fight. He was just gone." "For how long?" "A few hours until my mother called the police." This is the fight thing I told y'all about before. Did Mr. Combs go through your phone? I think so. And he called someone on it. The person you had an affair with, an NFL player, I don't know if he's playing anymore. But was it an NFL player and he was jealous? Wasn't there a time he found you dancing with another person in the entertainment industry and took your phone, right? I don't remember. It was Chris Brown. I was not dancing with him. Look at this. It's from 2013. Now I see. What else did Mr. Combs take? My car, my passport, when he was angry. Let's refresh you about Mr. Combs being in rehab. I vaguely remember. Why did you go to Sedonia? I went to Arizona to get away from drugs. I'm going to go to a new topic. Mr. Combs told you to get the video. He told you to go get the video you've heard about, right? You did write that, right? I wrote, "You keep putting me down." They said, "I'm going to play you some audio." And the audio is her saying, "If you saw a video of someone effing me, who was effing me, you have it. Why didn't you show me?" Because I'm not disrespectful, bro. That's exactly what he said. I'm not disrespectful, bro. Until if you don't show me, I will kill you, cut you up. So the audio is played for the jury. Saying, they said, you said, I will kill you. I've never killed anyone in my life. I'm going to F you up. It's not going to be blood on my hands. Someone else is going to do it. I'm not playing with you. So tell me. That's you, right? Yes. Did Mr. Combs express concern about these videos being released? When? Ever? Yes. The escort Jonathan, you thought he took a video? Yes. Mr. Combs spent a lot of money to make sure that video didn't get released. I don't know. You had a conversation with Jonathan Adi, right? That was transcribed. I'm not sure. He was volatile, right? You didn't trust him. What did Mr. Combs say when you told him you thought Mr. Adi was recording? He said he'll take care of it. Are you aware of an escort leaving comments on Mr. Combs' Instagram page? I am not. Now let's talk about rehab. You see, they are already laying the foundations down to get herself put into a jam. She's putting herself in a jammy jam. Hit the like button, good people. Subscribe to the page. That's why you come here, because we don't go with the blah, blah, blah. We don't go with the conspiracy theories. We get you nothing but the facts. The facts. Oh, yeah. So now it's getting a little interesting, isn't it? Because now this doesn't sound like what they have been portraying to you. This doesn't sound like a damsel in distress. This don't sound like somebody we don't know. This sounds like somebody that knows exactly what they're doing. Where's the helpless little lamb? Mm-hmm. So right now, all of these things Cassie is talking about, the prosecution know. They got all this information. Why the prosecution ain't telling you about all this? They telling you to ignore all that. He's trafficking. He's bad. He peed on her. We don't like that. Oh, well. She seemed like she was okay to get peed upon. She was so okay with everything after the doggone incident that they talking about that was so massive and all this people. She was brutally. Are you kidding me? I want to smack that Levin dude from TMZ right in his mouth. Everybody keeps talking about she was brutally attacked. She was not brutally attacked. Okay, if that was a brutal attack, then you have never seen a domestic situation before. That was a mild day to a brutal attack. Nobody should be hitting anyone. But that, where is Tony Busby? Tony Busby is not even a litigator. He's to get you in a box and try to extort you into settling. So what they established is that Diddy spent money to take care of that Jonathan Oddie tape, right? That one of the sex workers had. He spent money to reach out there to make sure that tape wouldn't reach the day of light. He's getting people to sign NDAs, and he's taking care of business on her behalf. So they said, let's talk about rehab, the place she said she never was in. They was like, do you still like Subonex? They was like, something like it. What does it treat? Opioid addiction. Objection! Overruled. You wrote a book on in rehab, right? This place treats sexual compulsion. Objection! Sidebar. So they go up there to talk to the judge. Because the prosecution is not liking this. Because now their case falls apart. Because if that place is treating sexual, what they call compulsion, that means Cassie can't control herself. And she had to go to rehab for not just drugs, but sex. So if she's somebody that had to go to rehab for sex, that means she likes sex and she wants it all the time. She has a sex addiction too. And it's going to be hard with a person with a sex addiction to try to say they was coerced to do something that they want to goddamn do. And that's why they said, objection! They jumped up quick. You see, that place just don't care, just don't work with drugs. See, they do all of it. So they come back after they had the sidebar with the judge, right? So we don't know what they talked about with the judge. They said, okay, did you get neurofeedback therapy? She says, yes. What is that? They hook something up to your head to show you things to see how you react. Were you told the effects of it? To help me with my trauma. Okay. Did you participate in EMDR? Yes. What does it do? Memories and processing them. The idea is for you to recall prior traumatic memories, right? Like for PTSD. You were being treated for PTSD, right? Yes. Okay. Mrs. Ventura, I was still physically developing, okay? I was still physically developing. You were 22. She was talking about I was still physically developing. They were like, you were 22. All right, we ain't trying to hear that. Well, women keep developing after 22, don't you think? But you're not suggesting you were still physically developing after 22, right? I am not. All right, because they were finna really break you down. They were finna really tear you up. They didn't even need the plan no more. This woman tried to say she was still physically developed. She was 22 years old. And they say this message is about having a freak out. I know, right? She just got caught in the sauce. Yep, there you go, 78 Sports TV. Don't forget to follow that man and subscribe to his page. He is great. Cassie cheated on every man in her life, including Diddy. I've never seen a woman in fear of a man and then admitted to attacking him and threatening him. Diddy is guilty of beating a woman and they're not charging him with that. Facts. They're in the wrong courtroom. You should be in a state court, not a federal court. There's no RICO. There's no trafficking. This is trash, all created by the government. Who put them up to this case? This was rushed. They had nothing in there for evidence. They did all this as a dog and pony show for the audience. And you got people like Teaser Tales who love to just tear a black man down. One of those women that love to tear black men down. She's out there. Then you got other doggone black men who don't even want to think. They just want to be out there to try to get some money. But that's what they do. They used to talk sports. Now they don't talk sports no more. Thought they were sports guys. Thought they like the NBA. The NBA finals is going on. They ain't saying a goddamn word about that. And this used to be their thing, right? But hey, people reveal themselves. They was a music producer. They was rapping. They was singing R&B. Then they was baseball, basketball. They all over the place. Then now they law and crime. So, hey, whatever floats their boat. Just hope it's worth it. Now, after all of this, and she goes to this whole thing about her physicality, like she's still developing after 22 years of age. So they asked her, do you think you were still developing after 22? I am not. And they're like, all right. Now this message about you having a freak off without ketamine, right? Then they were like, may I confer again with the counsel? The judge said no, but we'll take a break. The jury leaves, right? And now they talking without the jury. The judge and they're talking without the jury. So the judge is like, the witness list is Sunday, 5 p.m., right? I need that witness list. So as soon as they start going into the witness list, all this, they come back, right? She gets back on the stand, and the lawyer said, Mr. Cole wrote, you're so predictable. You said you were going to tell him and you didn't want to freak out. You didn't want to do freakouts anymore, but you didn't say it, did you? I did not. That's the case. Now, I will commend Cassie for one thing. She's just being honest. She's admitting to all of this. So either she is right now being a double agent and using the U.S. government because she's just telling the truth. She's telling the whole truth. She got paid and she really is helping Diddy's case. To be honest, she ain't hurting Diddy. She's helping Diddy because she is answering all the questions that the prosecution would damn show her hope she just find a way to rearrange the answers. But she is telling them straight out. She is being a double agent like a mug right now. So I'm thinking they got a pact. Maybe Diddy's like, remember, this is our code. She's like, I'm going to get my money. I'm going to help screw up their case. You good. Because she just basically admitted that's crazy. Like, he said you were so predictable. You said you were going to tell him you didn't want to do freakouts anymore, but you didn't say it. And she said, I did not. So you just admitted you did not tell him you didn't want to do freakouts no more. Why are we here? Why are we here? Where is there a coercion to do it? They was like, here, you was suggesting freak off with a girl. You said you found a photo of Mr. Combs with Gina while you were staying with your parents in Connecticut, right? Yes. You decided to break up with him, and he didn't threaten you, but you suggested couples therapy, couples counseling, right? I don't know. In August of 2018, you called it a closure conversation with Mr. Combs. He was inviting you to Burning Man, right? Yes. You read, Mr. Combs, you have anger. It's like, Mr. Combs, Diddy told Cassie she has anger. Like, you have anger. And Cassie wrote, my family knows. I'm not running around telling our business. And Cassie wrote, I don't need you to be take of Kim and Gina. I need you to put me first. I don't need you to be take of Kim and Gina. I need you to put me first. Please read these, Mrs. Ventura, to the court. She wrote, you lied to me. She never went away. It was the nail in the coffin. You mean Gina in the photo, right? Yes. In your civil lawsuit, you said Mr. Combs R-worded you in September 2018 after you had dinner at an Italian restaurant in Malibu, right? Yes. Did you meet with the U.S. on November 30th of 2023? Yes. Not the exact date. In this meeting, you said the R took place after Mr. Combs returned from Burning Man. You said he was acting strangely at the dinner. I don't remember exactly the word. Did you meet the U.S. on April 8th of 2025? Around then. Okay, this message is to FB. Who's that? Frank Black, a name he used. He wrote, I am at an investors conference. We'll get back to this. You still have love for him? And you said, I have love for the past and what it was. So they go to a sidebar. Then it comes back and said, you wrote, I didn't mean to be a bitch. I just didn't get the time. He writes, you need to be positive, correct? Yes. DX1309. This is about a yoga instructor. Yep. What did you write? I wrote, I've stopped even caring. But you did care. Yeah. So he said, you can date other people. Let's just talk about it. Correct? Yes. What did you write? I wrote, I do love you. I would just prefer not being one of your girlfriends. Let's get up tomorrow night. I'll do studio from 6 to 9. And what did Diddy write? Can I hold you? Or are you just going to break up with me? And you write back, we can embrace, and you wanted to hug him, right? That's what I said. Did you have sexual intercourse with Mr. Combs that night? I did. And during that, your now husband FaceTimed you, right? Yes. I just wanted to be held. Well, baby, you just got the bonus plan. So, she said she wanted to be held, but she came there and got down. I'm gonna put it down. I'm gonna put it down. Don't get me wrong. I'll take a little more. Don't get me wrong. I'll take a little more. Good, good, good. Get it, girl. Good, good, good. Get it, girl. Oh, God. That is a throwback song, like mixed song of the 80s, like the house music. That was actually a song. Like somebody had the mix, the beat going, and we was getting a ride from our cousin, and she was like loving this song. She was all taken to the club. I know my cousin Cliff was listening to this. He'd be cracking up like, you remember that? You remember that song? I was like, dog, I could never forget that song. We riding back and she playing it. We in the back seat. She just go. Don't get me wrong. I'll take a little more. Oh, good, good, good. Get it, girl. Good, good, good. Get it, girl. I'm like, what the hell are you listening to? We in the back like, what is this? Hey, we was in the back seat looking at each other like, what kind of song is this? Mm-hmm. What did you write? Mm-hmm. Right. And her now husband was FaceTiming her. And that's what I'm saying. Stop listening to teaser tales. I'm gonna tell everybody now. I normally don't tell people who not to listen to. Stop listening to her. I mean, I'm serious. If you want information, don't listen to her. She's dramatizing everything just for hits and views. She's talking about, and Diddy tried to have the husband thrown out of court. And oh my God, because he's there to support the wife and he's trying to get her removed. Because no, they're trying to get him removed because anything past 2018, he might have to be called to the stand to testify, depending on how she does in cross. And what she says in cross, they might have to call him to the stand. So the judge agreed that if they're talking about something past 2018 with Cassie, he can't be in the room because he might have to get called to the stand. Diddy is not asking him to get out of there because he's jealous of the dude. Stop listening to teaser tales and then coming in here with this garbage. All right? Because she's screwing y'all heads up and she's screwing up black women heads. That's all she's doing. Mm-hmm. Well, see, that's the thing. The credibility isn't there. So when the credibility isn't there, then what is it that you're doing? She's just talking. That's all she's doing. Now, I got a text message from my buddy that was in there earlier, but I haven't heard nothing back from him today. So I don't know. He's actually in the courtroom. So, yeah, so he's giving me tone, like yesterday I had it laid out because he gave me everything from the jump. Like today, wasn't really like that. His text was not really about Cassie. They're about Dawn Richards. So we'll get to that. So he says, your now husband didn't know you were with Mr. Combs at the time? I don't know what he knew. Later, he discovered it, right? Objection! Overruled. Judge is like, he cooking. They cooking. Let it go. Shoot. Anna in here cooking. She's like, you don't know your husband? They say, you don't. They was like, later he discovered it, right? You don't know your husband know you were R-word? Oh, not that evening. After Mr. Porter's memorial service, you wrote to him that you were going home. Why had he called Kim his soulmate? Was that the 11th year all about? Yes. That was hurtful at the time? Yes. At the memorial service, you saw Mr. Combs again, right? I did not. Oh, he let you go though, right? I never saw him again. I don't know about letting me go. You got married to the love of your life, right? Yes. They said, judge said, all right, well, stop it here. We got to go take a break. So the judge went out there to have a smoke, rubbed one off the evidence. Now the judge is back. He said, let's get this done before the jury returns. They said, we still think it's appropriate for this message to come in. And of course, the prosecution, we still have issues with phrases like, I like to reconnect. What's the state of mind is being offered for? The judge said, there are portions that are properly admissible. So this needs to be redacted if it's going to be admitted into evidence. In the 5th paragraph, I've been getting my life together. No. And they said, can we get that through other exhibits? He said, you can redact it right now. I'll do it right now. So they go through a redaction of some of the exhibits, right? So they say, I want to say we're going to finish with Cross faster than he thought. Probably before the next break. Then he said, can I speak to the government for 1 minute? So he speaks with and that was Agnifilo. He talking to him, the head lawyer, spoke to the government. Then they come back. And they said, Mrs. Ventura, we're almost done here. And she was, thank you. I will read Mr. Combs' messages. You're going to make a beautiful mother. God bless. She said, thank you. God bless. She's already a mother, but who gives a damn? I wrote, we should talk and have closure. Mr. Combs sent back a tear-face emoji. He said, you were always my ride or die. I thought it was nice. You've been craving that before. I didn't think I was craving now. You shaped he shaped you, right, for over 11 years. You shaped each other? Yes. Your husband's a physical trainer, right? Yes. The house you grew up in Connecticut was pretty much modest compared to mansions, right? Yes. What's being displayed here, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you, Charles Toy. Thank you. Appreciate it. My Cash App is Carcino. That's going across the banner you see there. Super chat work, subscribe, like the page, all of it. Across the board. Now, moving right along, we start to see something that don't make sense. They say the house you grew up in was modest. She agreed to that. And they say you're preparing to tour with Matt Testa. Yes, he's an engineer. Once you settled your lawsuit, you canceled the tour, right? Yes. Because you no longer needed the money? That wasn't the reason. After the hotel video came out, you posted on Instagram that domestic violence is the issue, right? Yes, I still feel that way. DX 1015 in the evidence. Mr. Combs wrote, want to freak off one last time? What did you write? I don't want it to be like last time. I want freak offs for the first time. They was objection. There was no further questions then. They was like redirect. So they said, Miss Ventura, you were shown a message where you ended. I don't want to freak off for the last time. I want it to be the first time for the rest of our lives. What did you say after that? Yes, I'm horny. Just got over a UTI. And they said, you were shown messages today in which you and Sean were kind of loving. Yes. Did that period ever last? They were like, objection. They were like, overruled. No, they didn't last. They were on a downswing. What world did Sean open you up to? A world of chaos. In your 11 years of a relationship, this is the government jumping in with their redirect. Who didn't you want to have sex with? Who did you want to have sex with? Only him at that time. When Sean wrote, seduce me all day, what did you do? Write about freak offs? Were you able to cancel work obligations for freak offs? Yes, if I was told to. When you were shooting the movie in South Africa and you blocked him, how often did he contact you? Through Mia. He said he didn't remember hurting you. Do you believe him? Not always, because I knew him. There were times he was pretty aware of what he was doing. It's just who he was. I seen him be violent with other people. On the way back from Cannes, what did Sean do? He played a video of me having sex with an escort. What'd he say he'll do? He'll release it. When you got to New York, what did Sean ask for? A freak off, or he'll release it. When Sean wrote, you ready for tonight? What did he mean, freak off? Were you afraid he would do if you didn't do that freak off? Objection. Overruled. I didn't know that week. Next question. Do you have any doubts Sean R-worded you? Objection. Overruled. I have no doubt. They said after Sean R-worded you on August 18th, Did you have consensual sex with Sean during which you and your now husband FaceTimed you? Yes. Why did you cancel your tour after you found a civil lawsuit? I was overwhelmed. Addressing the past the way I chose to was overwhelming. I didn't want to go. Do you plan to file more lawsuits? No. Would you give the $20 million back if you hadn't had those to do the freak offs? Objection. Overruled. The judges just want to hear it all. I would give it back to get my agency back. Did he beat you during the freak offs? Yes. And now here come the tears. Just as they rehearsed. This is all rehearsed. Oh my gosh. Now here comes the tears. Yes. Tears. All right. There it goes. Cassie. Put those tears to work. Yes, I'm hearing abuse. I'm hearing domestic. I'm not hearing RICO. I'm not hearing trafficking. Not hearing coercion. Remember, this is what he's charged of. They're doing shock and awe. Were you open to freak offs at the beginning, Miss Ventura? At the beginning. Did you tell him you no longer wanted to do him? Yes, more than once. What concerns did you have about saying no to freak offs? Safety, career, love. No further questions. Miss Escovedo, you knew Combs' sexual preference was these freak offs, right? Like Diddy's lawyers are back up because they've had enough of this. So the redirect that they just did, that they asked for, was to try to get people's mind back to where they wanted it to be. Right? They said, you knew Mr. Combs' presence, right, for these freak offs. She said, I learned. It was part of being his girlfriend. Yeah, whatever. Right. You kept your old device, right? Yes. And freak offs in this case, they were all about devices you kept from 2012 to 2014. I don't know what year. You were able to stand at his side at the Met Gala. Being his girlfriend gave you access to producers, right? Yes. Beyond Kid Cudi, what other musicians were you put in the studio with? Were you put in the studio with Nicki Minaj? Yes. So Nicki was brought up. They said, were you put in the studio with Lil Wayne? Yes. Rick Ross, Pusha T. Am I forgetting any names? You've got a lot of names. You are self-conscious about your musical talent. I wouldn't say that. You had a bad performance at 106 in Park early in my career. You did music videos. Were they successful? May have had a brief sidebar. The judge wanted to know where this was going. So they start talking at the bench. Like, where's this going? The judge is like, where is she getting to? Oh, C don't know what she's getting into. So listen to where they go. They go back, and they basically lay it out for the judge. They go back, and the judge said, all right, okay, I know where we're going, so you can continue. So they was like, D-Rock was like a family member of yours, right? Yes, like a brother. The assistant Mia. You've always had a friendship with Maria, right? Mia, right? Yes. Okay. Here you begin with an explicit message, and he responds with one. You are actively sexting. You stated that you were feeling overwhelmed after filing your civil lawsuit, right? Yes. You recently received a settlement from the Intercontinental. No. You made a demand. Yes. 10 million, maybe. Judge, was anything further? And then the Johnson, she's like, I have just one question. I'm asking Mrs. Escovedo, can you wrap up in 2 minutes? This is the last thing I'll ask you to read, Mrs. Ventura. Thank you. We need closure and understanding. And then she comes up, why did you keep your devices? I was afraid of what was on them. I wouldn't take them to Apple Store. I wouldn't have taken them to the Apple Store. But why did you keep them? You see, that's the big thing. So she's trying to come up with an excuse to why she keep the damning evidence that she claims that, oh my God, this could ruin me. You kept it for 2 years. So Combs' lawyer comes in and said, you reached a $10 million settlement with the Intercontinental last week, right before the trial. This trial right here, you just got $10 million from the Intercontinental Hotel. Then the prosecution, objection! Judge like, nah, overruled. Yes. So Cassie got $10 million from the Intercontinental Hotel right before the trial starts. Now, don't you think that is a very big jump? Why are they paying you $10 million? When you didn't go to the police? Why are they settling with you for $10 million? Right before the trial. So now they take a break. So they finna bring in Dawn Richards. And they said, we object to the testimony of the witness after the special agent, Dawn Richards. They said, why is this coming up at 3:30 p.m.? Going forward, you address things before the courtroom. So why the submissions not in the docket? Jury is entering, right? And right away, the AUSA, they got another one come in, this other 6-pack out of the 6-pack of white women that they talked about. Good afternoon, where do you work? So she comes in, special agent in the human trafficking group. So now I guess we're supposed to be getting to it, right? We got a special agent in the human trafficking group up here. Said, I'm in the crisis negotiation group too. They said, did you serve subpoenas in this case? She was, yes. So they were like, oh, when Sean Combs was arrested, where did you go? To the Park Hyatt, room 21115 or whatever, 2115. Where was he staying? What did you do? We assigned a letter to each room and began to search. What was your role? I took photographs of items. I signed them to the 6051 form. Was this found in the closet? Plastic bags of J&J baby oil with Astroglide bottles? Why are we talking about baby oil? Is there GHB in there? Yes or no? If not, stop talking about baby oil and Astroglide. What was found in the bathroom? Several bottles of baby oil. Now the bedroom. What was found in the LV bag? Medication in the name of Frank Black. And that is bags of pink powder found in a medication bottle. And what was it tested by Customs and Border Patrol lab? The pink powder was found to be ketamine and MDMA in the bottle. What was found in his black mini backpack? $9,000. Please take the cash out of the bag. And she's fanning out the bills like, no further questions. They was like, any cross? They were like, so Tenny jump up and say, well, in the hotel room, did you see any bags and clothing indicating that the woman staying in there with him? Yes. Okay. And then they was like, as soon as she said yes, they said the U.S. may call its next witnesses. That's all they said. They asked her one question. In the hotel, did you see any bags and clothing that would indicate that a woman was staying there with him? And they said yes. So now another person is staying there in the same hotel room. Who's to say that all of this is his? So now they said, Your Honor, the government would call Dawn Richards. So now Dawn Richards shows up on the scene. That's right. Hit the like button, good people. He said James Comey is grabbing the headlines while his daughter's getting cooked with Crisco grease. I got the only guy that cuts grass who waits till it's like midnight to start cutting grass. So they call up there. They was like, from 2004 to 2011, where did you work? Puff, Sean Combs. Who did you work for? Oh, so he said, do you see him? She said, yes. Who is depicted in this photo? Cassie. In 2009, did you observe an incident between Puff and Cassie? She was attacked by Sean Combs, kicked. Did you see more violence by him against Cassie? Often. Were you a member of this group? And it's a photo of Diddy and the Dirty Money. Diddy Dirty Money. Diddy Dirty Money. Diddy Dirty Money, baby. They said, she was like, yes, I was a member of the group from 2009 to 2011. The incident in 2009 when Sean Combs beat Cassie, where was it? In Sean Combs' LA home. We were recording. What did he do? He was saying, where the F is my food? He grabbed a black skillet with eggs and tried to hit her over the head with it. Cassie dropped to the ground. What did she do? She went into the fetal position. Then what? Sean Combs was kicking her in the head and body and dragged her up the floor, glass breaking and yelling. I was scared for her and for me too. Did you intervene? No. Did you call the police? No. What happened the next day? Dawn Richards says that it had been passionate and she was okay, that it would be better if we didn't talk, that people could end up missing. How did you understand that? Death. Objection. They have a sidebar up there. And then they say, well, jurors, you can leave for the weekend. Watch the Yankees play the Mets or the Knicks. If you're not into sports, there's a lot going on. We will see you Monday. Miss Richards, you can leave. And so they said, well, this show is conscious of guilt for the court, right? For count one. That's what Kami said. She comes in there. This shows consistency of guilt for count one and relevance to count one. And they said, and the Diddy's lawyer says, oh, it is not sex trafficking. It's domestic violence. Why don't you bring emotion and limelight of this? They said, why didn't you bring emotion and limony on this? And he said, I didn't know. He said, we cannot sit here and say Mrs. Ventura did anything because of this event because she didn't talk about this one. So this is rank speculation. And they said, but she was there. She doesn't know the effect on Cassie Ventura. So they're telling this judge, like, dude, how are you allowing this? Cassie didn't even talk about this. So she's talking about an incident in which Cassie, who just been spending 5 days on the stand, never mentioned this incident. So they were like, well, who are your next witnesses? And he's like, we have Kerry Morgan and David James. Yeah, so basically that's it. They sent the jury home and they're going to start it up again next week. And that's going to be cray for everybody involved. Well, that's what they do when they see you making a lot of moves. You know, when they see you starting to get some traffic going, here they come with the nonsense. Don't worry, they'll get the boot. So now, as you can see, how it was laid out and how it was presented to the rest of the world, the situations and how it was presented to everyone involved, that it was clear. In stasis, it was clear in everything that you know of that these situations are too far, few, and in between. We've had constant disagreements about which direction the trial should go in or how the trial should play out. And Dawn Richards is here to talk about a scene of domestic, which does not serve for. I don't even know what in the world is. Comey was talking about uh, a conviction of count one. It's like, how could this be a conviction on count one when basically all it's saying is domestic? Everything she's talking about has been about domestic. We've not seen anything that has exhibited or shown anything. Mhm. Well, a domestic case and a trafficking case are two majorly different cases altogether. So when you start moving in that, that trope, you're moving already on the different scales. Yeah, well, other people would say like that's going too far, or I don't like that, or what did you see in here that's laid out? From what I've read today and what I've seen today, when they brought the one person in, this agent tried to talk about what they found in the room, which of the arrest, which is not an indication of a RICO or what they tried to do. That was so weak. They put it, well, you found drugs in the room. Okay. Did you find it on that person with other people staying in the room? Yes. Okay. Other people are staying in the room. You don't find anything that's labeled to Sean Combs. You see Frank Black. Okay. That's not registered to Sean Combs. So, mhm. All of these scenarios are definitely linked to a modern problem that people would see. Hmm. The chats are being spammed by pro Cassie people. Cassie is an innocent. She is pretty much the same as everybody else. She was either a co-conspirator into it or whatever. Did Diddy put his hands on her? Yes. Did she put her hands on Diddy? Yes. They both had a violent relationship and it's toxic. I mean, Outlaw got a wrench and Outlaw's in here. Outlaw, you got a wrench. If you see these trolls in here, you supposed to be getting rid of these trolls. So I have no idea what these people are talking about. These media heads and media pundits. I think they are very lost when it comes to this case. There's been no connection with anything legal so far that could tie a loophole to this whole thing, right? Because all you're tying is from the government side is you're trying to elude and hopefully the crowd can put the story together to fit your narrative. But your narrative isn't adding up. Your narrative is weak. Spammers. Yeah, they come in here trying to spam, trying to mess up the chat, trying to mess up the experience for everybody in here. Now, why would they be doing that? Because they want to stunt your growth of your page. They want to stomp everything that you got that's going on. Now, Cassie named her daughter after Diddy. The person that she accused is did all this stuff to her while she was dating her then husband. She went and got down with Diddy again for another freako. You went and named your daughter with your new husband, the strength and conditioning coach, the personal trainer. Right. You named him. You named your child after him. But if you had moved on, right? Her daughter name is Frankie Stone Fine. And you said sometime he goes by the name of Frank Black. Diddy. You tried to say Frank Black is his name. Well, it was the contrast to Biggie. Biggie was Frank White. So Puff was Frank Black. All right. Biggie Smalls was Frank White, the king of New York. King of New York was a movie from the 80s where Christopher Walken played a character who came back on the scene after being off the blocks for years. And he's back home and he's trying to reclaim and take back what's his. And his name was Frank White. And the King of New York was the name of the movie. So Biggie played that theme. The King of New York, Frank White. Lawrence Fishburne is in there. One of the guys in Frank's crew. Frank Nitti is the Untouchables. So Frank Black is the name. You name your daughter Frankie. Frankie Stone. Frankie Stone Fine is your daughter's name. So you naming your daughter after Diddy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, she said in the text message, "You never made me feel like any other, pretty much. This girl was a straight freak. Don't blame the man. There's too many freaks alike. They're two freaks alike." Troll guy reviewing news says Cena is possible for Puff to be free. Yes. Right now, he hasn't been really convicted of anything. In anything they haven't found a count he could be found guilty on. Yeah, so I gotta go. I got a blow done. I gotta start getting ready for this Knicks game. All right, I'm gonna holler at y'all later, and we'll continue this after the weekend. Don't know why the judge is bringing up sports in the trial, telling them to go watch the Subway series and all this, man. I swear, they got to do better, New York. Anyway, enjoy your time if you just here for the trials and all that. Peace out, and I'll see y'all on the next live stream with the Celtics. Hi, I'm Carcino. Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. No one knows